What's up, Game of Thrones? It's your boy DJ Wun Wun Red here, back at you with another recap and review. And what's up? It is finally here. I mean, have we been waiting forever and a day, or what? I mean, hello. Yeah. So check this out. So I finally get new cable. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I had the old cable, and it was working just fine. And finally, it was acting up. So I got the new X1. Can talk into the new remote. Yeah, everything's cool. Get the box. It doesn't work. Get a couple cable guys out here. Yeah, it took two of them. They worked on it for a while. They finally got it all figured out. Yeah, I can talk into the remote now. Everything's all cool. Got the new X1. Go play poker all day. Come back. No cable. Sunday. Game of Thrones. The only good thing about the day that it was going to be was I was going to get to come home and see the premiere of Game of Thrones. Cable was completely out. Internet was completely out. Unbelievable. So anyway, yeah, I had to call the cable guys and wait for about 12 more hours till they came out and fixed it before I even got to see it after waiting all this time. So yeah, I'm a little crazy pumped up. Finally got to see it. Didn't know if I was going to do a review or not. Probably should have done a reaction video, even though I don't know. I don't do those, but it probably would have been funny because I was flipping out. But yeah, I don't know. I saw a bunch of other people and I started seeing their videos. And are you guys fans out there or what? I mean, it's like everybody's, oh, I don't like this. I don't like, man, I thought it was awesome. I loved it. And yeah, it's all about the Red Woman, man. Let's get into it. We open up just like our trailer, back at Castle Black, and Ghost is howling and scratching at his kennel door, trying to get out, and Davos walks outside to see what all the noise is about. Now, I'm not sure why he didn't hear Jon getting Caesared, but he finds his body in the snow, and a couple other loyal brothers come out, and they help get Jon back to another room. Now, in the next scene, we have all the Black Brothers meeting in the Great Meeting Hall, and Alastor Thorne, I gotta give it up to him this one. Alastor actually tells it like a boss. They're all the brothers are going crazy, and they're like, who killed him? Who killed him? Traitors! And Alastor Thorne's like, I killed him. And Darnold Noy, and so did all the other sergeants and officers of the Black Brothers Watch, and everybody just went apeshit. And I actually think if the guys brought it out, and if Dolores, Ed, and all those guys actually came forward right then, I think they would have had enough support to probably kill all the little traitorous bastards. But since they didn't, Ollie and Thorne and Dolores, and they all get to live now, at least for the time being. You just gotta love Dolores Ed in this next scene. Jon was my friend, and those fuckers butchered him. And now we return the favor. And Davos is like, we don't have the numbers. And he's like, fuck, we have a wolf. And Davos is like, that's not enough. As usual, Davos is totally trying to be the voice of reason. But Dolores Ed, I think he had the best line in the whole show. He's like, if you were planning on seeing tomorrow, you picked the wrong room. We all die today. I was just like, what? But I do have one question. Why did they even take that body into the room? Why did they take Jon Snow's body into that room? Like, I know we as fans know about Thoros and Beric Dondarrion and the resurrecting and all that, but the Night's Watchmen don't know that. So what are they protecting the body from? Why did they even take it in there? That part doesn't even make sense to me. It's like, why did they put themselves in this situation? But hey, it gave me the best line of the whole show, so I'm with it. Next, it's on to Winterfell, with Ramsay overlooking Miranda's dead body. Now, I know none of you really thought he was actually going to mourn somebody, but I do believe that's about as close as he's able to feel to love. She was fearless. Should we build her a pyre or bury her body? Bury? Burn? That's good meat. Feed her to the dogs. From whence we came, we will return. A fitting end for the Kettlemaster's daughter. Then we get some father-son time, and Roose always knows just how to push Ramsay's buttons. I mean, knowing full well that Ramsay killed his last son, he just keeps bringing up Fat Walda being pregnant, and if the Maesters are right, it'll be a son, and you just know sooner or later Ramsay's going to snap and just kill Roose. Or maybe that's what Roose wants, and Roose has special plans for Ramsay. I guess time will tell. Cut to Reek/Theon. Yeah, he's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. And him and Sansa are running through the snow, and they come across a frozen river, and Theon thinks it would be best to cross the river to throw off the scent of the hounds, and Sansa's like, I can't. And Reek's like, I've seen what these dogs do to people. Yes, you can. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about this episode was nothing but setup, and I totally disagree. I mean, last season we had Brienne staring out of a window for half a season. Here we finally get Brianna and Sansa hooking up with my man Pod holding his own. Looks like those lessons Brienne's been giving him are totally paying off. And I totally called Theon putting a spear through that dude's neck when Pod was on the ground trying to get away. But yeah, I mean, how can everybody say that this is all about setup when we finally have Brienne meeting Sansa? I mean, would they rather just have her stare out of a window the entire season? But yeah, all in all, I think this was an awesome scene, and it was kind of funny the fact that we have Brienne giving her pledge for a third time, pledging her service to Sansa. It's like, hey, maybe it'll actually help keep this one alive. But yeah, again, this was a really good scene. Next, we have Jaime bringing Marcella back under a golden shroud, and the range of emotion in Cersei's face just shows what an amazing actress she is. I mean, that was an emotional scene. And where the hell was Bronn? How come we didn't see him on that boat? I mean, is that how Trystane got back to the Sand Snake so fast? And then Cersei fills Jaime in on the Maggie the Frog prophecies, and Jaime's like, fuck prophecies. We're about to take everything. Lannisters have pretty big appetites, and I think they're about to get theirs. Shame, shame, confess. All I have to say about this scene is I can't wait for Sister Elena and this High Sparrow asshat to get what's coming to him. On to Dorne, and we have our first real Game of Thrones gotcha moment, and I have to admit I did not see this coming. Holy shit, Hota, you got bad pussied. Seems like so many fans are so in hate with the show's version of the Sand Snakes, and don't get me wrong, I'm right there with them. But this episode took a huge step back in the right direction, bringing them back around. I definitely hate them a lot less after this episode, but don't get me wrong, they have a long way to go to redeem last year's shit storyline. But so much for Dorne's master plan. Sorry, Preston. So I guess as soon as Marcella died, they dropped Trystane off at the next port or something. I guess that's where Bronn went, because all of a sudden the two sand snakes are in the same cabin with him, telling them they're there to kill him. And they say, choose, who would you want it to happen from? And he's like, I choose you. And then he turns his back on the other one? I mean, come on. I guess Ilaria Sand was right. He is too stupid to rule. But the other one says, you're a greedy bitch. And I mean, it was probably the worst scene of this episode. But it was still better than all of Dorne last year. Okay, except for maybe the titty scene. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Over to our two favorite characters, and usually the dialogue between these two is priceless, but good thing you're not a boy anymore because you have no cock? Wait, what? Why? Then we get Tyrion telling a poor woman he wants to eat her baby, and we're back on track. I've heard people ask, why is there graffiti on, and why is it in the native tongue? Well, the graffiti's on the wall to help tell the story, and it's in English so we can read it. I mean, it wouldn't mean very much to us if we couldn't read it and it didn't know what it meant. There's a red priest in Meereen who seems to be preaching good things about the mother of dragons, but Tyrion thinks it's a problem, and he's usually right. Tyrion says no matter where you go, somebody's trying to kill you, and then we see somebody's watching them. Is it a spy? Is it the head of the Harpy? What if it's Hisdar and his death was faked and all that confusion? What if he really is the head of the Harpy? It's either him or Varys or Dario. I actually think it's Dario because he's the one who ordered Dany's fleet burned so she can't leave. And then right after they talked about it, it cut to Dario and Jorah looking for Dany in the next scene. So yeah, I think Dario is actually the head of the Harpy. I really liked how they filmed and therefore explained how in the whole wide world Jorah could actually find Dany's ring. When we saw it, there was a big circle left by the Dothraki Horde, and we do remember the Horde circling Dany last year, so that actually makes sense, being able to ride up on it and then seeing that and walking right to the middle. You'd actually be able to find something that way, and I'll actually buy that. That makes sense to me. We get some Winnie banner from Jorah and Dario, and they need to turn this more. I mean, those are two pretty great actors. They need to turn this more into a Tyrion Varys feel, with just a few more brutish overtones. But I think that could be a really good scene between the two of those every time they're shot together. We got Jorah reminding us that he has grayscale, and I always wondered, can whites get grayscale, or can stone men be turned into whites? I think something like that's going to happen by the end of the series, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Panda Danny and the Horde heading back to the Call, and are you kidding me? We're getting slapstick on Game of Thrones? I loved it and laughed out loud. The writers took a big chance with this one, and I've heard mixed reviews, but I freaking loved it. Just what two unschooled barbarians would be like. I mean, they rape new women all the time. Seeing a new one naked isn't that big a deal to them. They'd rather pillage cities and get new slaves and take over Khals, and yeah, with Blood Riders that simple, we see why this one's the Khal. He tells Dany he's taking her to Vostothrak, and I think we all pretty much know how this one's going to play out. Over to Bravos and the Blind Girl. Are you listening? Do any of them talk to you? She is going to be a straight-up ninja when they get through with her. Stand and fight, Blind Girl. The waif was not holding back. She was beating the crap out of Arya. I can't see. That's your problem, not mine. Is this foreshadowing to Arya Warging? Shout out to all my book readers. Back to Castle Black, and Davos wants mutton. He's not much of a hunter, you see, and Davos is cool as a cucumber as he stalls for Dolores Ed to reach the wildlings. Ed is our only chance. It's a sad fucking statement if Dolores Ed is our only chance. See, I still don't understand why they're protecting the body, but Davos says there's always the Red Woman. What's she gonna do against 40 armed men? You haven't seen her do what I've seen her do. Well, now we've all seen her do much more than we ever needed to. Speaking of bad pussies, I see how she has shadow babies now. There's nothing but dust coming out of that thing. There are clues to Melisandre's age all throughout the books, much more so than the show. So as fans of the books, most of us already knew about the glamour spell and that she was a lot older than she was portraying. The thing that they haven't told show watchers is that using the glamour spell weakens her. I think maybe that's why she took off the necklace, so she could get a good night's sleep and recuperate. The longer she's had that necklace on, the weaker she gets. That may be why she's been misinterpreting the flames so bad. I believe she'll get some rest, because remember, when she's wearing the necklace, she doesn't really sleep or eat, and then when she awakes with fresh eyes, she'll be able to see the truth and read the flames much more clearly. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a hell of a start. I mean, yeah, I think it was actually one of the better starts, one of the better episodes ones we've had in a while. I mean, other than like maybe season one. Yeah, I thought it was a great start. I'm so glad that Brienne finally found Sansa, and dude, who saw that coming with the sand stakes and killing Doran like that? I mean, and Hota going out like a biatch. Thought you were better than that, man. Putting that up to Jaime and talking all that smack like that. I think if Jaime had two hands, he would have whooped you up clean because you went out like a punk. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not trying to come down on anybody else doing their reviews. Everybody's got their opinions, and that's what it is. But man, it's starting to sound, I mean, yeah, some people sound like they just don't even like the show, just bashing. I'm like, wow. Hey, I love it. I don't care. I'm going to be back next week. I'm going to keep it watching. And yeah, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give the show I don't know, I'd probably give it an 8. I mean, yeah, it was right up there. And like I said, they shocked the shit out of me when they killed Doran and Hota like that. I did not see that coming in episode 1. Other than that, it was pretty sweet, and I'll be back here next week. So yeah, if you liked how I did it, thumbs up it. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll know right when they come out. Other than that, it's DJ Wun Wun with another review. We'll see you on episode 2. Ta-ta.